Get my 6. Listen, I want you to pay very close attention to what it's a sound. Now keep looking. Look for him, her, it, or they. But listen closely. You're going to hear it here in a minute. Guys, I'm at a location where there potentially has been 3 sightings in 3 days. Wow, what a beautiful stream. Now you're going to hear something here in a minute, and the naysayers are going to say, there's no way. There went one. It was a car crossing a bridge. It's about 200 yards downstream from me right here. That wasn't a very loud car. That was probably a Prius. That was a car that is electric, and its driver is doing good things. They just better not be on the wrong side. They better not be in my lane when I'm driving my big Dodge Ram 1500. You know, some of these people on these old country back roads come around the turn on the wrong lane. In the mornings when I'm jogging or mountain biking, you know, and they're doing this and they're on their phones scrolling and their little Prius, they're safe. I'm diving out of the road, but you come around on my side, gas-powered truck. You heard that one. You heard that was a real truck, a real vehicle. So now, let me explain to everybody saying, this sounds like you're by a highway. There's no way there's a potential Bigfoot Sasquatch there. Do you know who, in my humble opinion, the most credible people to have Bigfoot Sasquatch sightings are the people who don't go out looking for them. The people, many of whom, until they have that sighting, don't even believe in the existence of him, her, it, or they. Gosh, you've got to see this view. This is definitely, you know, it's people driving down the road. They're out maybe during the day, during night, in remote locations, some not so remote. And one of these things potentially runs across the road. Something large, something dark, something bipedal, something on 2 legs, not 4. Well, I was contacted. Let me flip the phone. Let's do a quick scan, and then I'm going to tell you why I'm here. I'm going to share some stories with you, okay? That's downstream. Check the riverbanks. What a beautiful stream. We might have to get out there and walk in the middle of it. So beautiful. All right, guys, I've entered the water. I'm in the water. And what is this? It's late April here in Central Virginia, and it's not cold. Oh, I see a mudsucker. I saw a big bullfrog jump in here too and start swimming. This water is so clean. Look at this, watch. You know, unfortunately, there's so many places in the world where you can't do that. But you can still do that here in the beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia. Tried to get that car in the shot. Now listen, I'm not going to give you my specific location. See if you can see the other one. Hear it? That's a real truck. That's a school bus. Hey, I'm all about these little half-electric hybrid things, but stay on your side of the road. Put down your phone and drive. It's what, okay, you're trying to save the world, that's great. How about save yourself? Because if you meet that school bus, because you're halfway on the other side of the yellow line, looking to see who gave a thumbs up to your last Facebook post, it's not going to end well for you, okay? Come on, save the world and be a responsible driver. So you get my 6. I'm walking right up in the middle of this stream. This is how thorough of a potential Bigfoot Sasquatch researcher I am, okay? I'm not giving you my specific location because the guy that contacted me lives very close to here. I'm not too far away from where I live, but I'm not too close either, okay? It was a hike out here. a drive too. My real truck is over there. I had to drive quite a ways to get here, but it's, less than half a day. But here's the deal. 3 sightings in 3 days. And when the guy told me, I was like, no way. Come on now. No, I've heard other people have contacted me on this channel and said, they've told me they're in this area and they've seen things. They said that their family have seen things for generations. I see a smallmouth bass over there. It's a beautiful bass. It looks quite delicious. Okay, so I didn't doubt that, but I said 3 sightings in 3 days? How is this possible? You know what the guy told me? He says, think about it. Oh, wow, I just found a fish nest. Let me show you this for those of you who don't know what a fish nest look like. Be like, what? A fish nest? What is Crazy Lake talking about? Crazy Lake's talking about nature. Something he understands because he goes out and he communes with it. Like right now, look at this. I am communing here with all this nature. Let me show you a fish nest. Okay, so you see the beautiful river. You see the rocky bottom. Look right here. Try to cut the glare down. See how the rocks, it looks like somebody or something has taken all the rocks from the edge, the smaller rocks, brought them out in the middle and just piled them up, made a mound out of them. Guess what? Something has a fish. This is a fish nest. For those of you who don't know anything about this, they will actually pick these rocks up with their mouth, okay, and then pile them up, and then they build a hole. Right, looks like right here's where the hole is, just like a bird nest. This is where they lay their eggs. Now, in case you didn't know this, fish fertilize the eggs after they've been laying. So I actually see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 holes in this fish nest. This was actually a community project here. This was like some group action going on here. So the female will actually lay the eggs down in the holes, and the purpose of the nest is that it keeps the current, of course, from washing the eggs downstream. And then the males come along and fertilize the eggs after they've been laid. All right, it's time to implement my YouTube famous potential Bigfoot Sasquatch field research strategies. Okay, so if you're new to the channel, what that means, if you're like scratching your head saying, what does what that lunatic just said even mean? Well, what that means is I have strategies that I made famous here on YouTube, and the biggest one, you can tell right now I'm not looking you in the eyeball. I don't look into the screen of my camera. Get my 6 is military terminology for watch behind me, because look, him, her, it, or they can sense eyes upon them, just like any other primate. You know when your creepy, agoraphobic, voyeuristic neighbor's staring at you while you're outside doing something. You can feel it without even seeing, right? So I can't focus on him, her, it, or they right now that may or may not be hiding behind that very large there. Oh, look, if I look into the phone and they sense that, they're going to run away. So you watch for it as I now walk downstream, okay? So here's what my buddy said, and it's so ironic because I was just explaining about the fish nest there. We're talking about reproduction in nature. We're not being, inappropriate. Thomas Harrison in Nebraska sent me this monocular the other day. Let me look down here while you're looking back there. And, oh, shoot, I just remembered. I have my taser he sent me, too. It's in my pocket. I better not wade too deep. Lee, for those of you who want to say, he's an actual writer. There. I spoke grammatically correct to please you, even though most people don't speak grammatically correct. Though I do write that way. Unless if it's dialogue by a character. Almost a client. All right, so here's the deal. When him, her, it, or they are in mating season, which may or may not be spring, okay? Animals in the wild, here in North America at least, that's mating season, right? But what if they're more human than human? Remember that song from the 90s, 9 Inch Nails? That was no, Rob Zombie, my bad. Well, if they're like us, they would reproduce year-round. However, since they do live outdoors and do seem to share a lot of characteristics with actual wild animals, it might make sense that they are more active in regard to reproduction in the spring. So let's go with that theory. It perfectly explains why there's been 3 sightings in 3 days. Especially here. Water source. As you can see, a very clean water source. Let me take a sneak peek. Well, what I saw earlier is not there now. I see the stump. Look. Oh, look at that. It works. Let me... Look at it. Ooh, man. Look at that. Now I gotta go up this way. Can you see? Look at that. Ah, whatever. I need to work on that. I need to practice. Okay, so. Water source. We are in the middle of multiple major communities. So that puts us in the middle of nowhere, technically. Though there are roads, okay? And so the sightings have come from people in passing vehicles. The guy that told me, the guy knows, and he heard from somebody somewhere. I'm hearing whoops, whoops, whoop, whoop, whoop. Rewind and listen if you missed it. Put your earbuds in. Keep getting my 6. I'm not going to look. You got to look and timestamp it for me. This water, oh man, I need to go home and get my kayak and bring it back out here. So I'm going to spend the better part of the rest of the afternoon here just, looking around. But I'm going to take a nap first because this is my nap time. But as I continue to look here, I want to give a few shout outs. I'm going to do this from the bank because I want to read a couple things. I have some things in my pockets. And make sure it's safe. I just heard footsteps right here, and I don't see anybody or anything. I don't think we're alone right here. Okay, so I'm going to try to give you guys the view of this. There's a clearing on the other side of the river, then it goes back into the forest, and that's where I heard those whoops. So keep your eyes open, keep getting my 6 there. And I want to reiterate a point I started on here at the beginning of this video about, listen, I'm not calling anybody a liar who claims to have seen him, her, it, or they, but I do find, just with me personally, the stories from people who aren't out looking for them, they seem more credible to me in that, okay, listen, first of all, I've never claimed to see a Bigfoot Sasquatch, have I? For those of you who watch my videos, you know I have never made that claim. Now, there's been a couple things we've spotted in these videos that today, to this date, I can't explain. I don't know what that is. And if you love this t-shirt, you can get them from our merch shelf if you just scroll down from Teespring. I just bought a new one because I wanted one in this color and because I just paid my taxes, and I gave one to my CPA as a gift because he thought it was funny. That, well, whatever. Tree knock. It came from between me and the bridge. And guys, there is no one down here but me. Look at this. Here are the cars passing on the bridge, couple hundred yards down that way. There is something here. I heard footsteps. Now I heard a tree knock very close by. It wasn't a loud one. It was more like a little stick knock. Guys, watch this way, okay? Now listen. Let me get to it. I want to thank, first of all, everybody who watches these videos, even those who say you hate them or hate me, but you keep coming back. Appreciate that. And, I thank like Thomas Harrison, for this and the taser, and of course so many others. Weed whacker, a log splitter. We get a lot of mail. I don't want to show addresses. I think so. See, there you can see the bridge. That's a real truck. Watch out, you Prius owners. You don't want to be scrolling on your phone, checking out Facebook, and drift across the yellow line and hit that guy. You can still hear him. He's all the way down there already. Yeah. Hey, it's great you're saving the world. Save yourself. Put down your phone and drive. Okay? Listen, we appreciate the mail, the letters. It's not just, I hope I wasn't giving the impression that, we're not going to thank you unless you send me something of monetary value. No way. It's not who I am. It's not who my family is. Yesterday, in between doing all the stuff I'm doing around the homestead, I've got some big projects. I took my tiller yesterday evening and I plowed up an area about the size of a football field back behind where we keep our bees. And I planted 100,000 wildflower seeds. I ordered 200,000 more. It's the kind you sprinkle. I mean, I didn't do it, seed by seed. Those are cars, but we heard this tree knock somewhere below the road between me, the river, and that bridge. Something's going on here, so keep watching. So, but when I would take a break and I split wood, I did so much yesterday. Trimmed, used that new electric weed eater, which is wonderful, which I did tilt the head so that I don't have to do the belly crawl. I figured out how to work it, and it cuts, actually, it was cutting stuff like 2 feet tall that was tough that I didn't think it would cut. But while I was taking my break, I was reading cry or a scream from the same direction where we heard the whoops. So we heard a whoop, 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 and now a scream or a cry. We've got a tree knock. You know what? There might be a mother Bigfoot Sasquatch with her. They might be telling me to get out of here. Okay, I read your letters. If you've mailed me a letter, you sent me a letter, I read it. And I'm thankful and I'm grateful. It's just too many to get around to, too many shout outs to get. You hear that again? It's like, what? Well, sounds like a cat, but there's no houses around here. It's not a cat. Could be one of those mountain lions we supposedly don't have around here. I better hurry up. Listen. I just wanted to share a couple things with you, and I'm sorry that I can't give you all shout outs. There's just too many. But Ann Cooper sent me something I thought was really neat. It's some funny news kind of, Ann Cooper. I'm kind of hesitant to say where Ann lives because I was contacted by somebody that I said where they lived, and they said they were listen, they shared. I'm kind of paranoid. We kind of share that trait, and they told me why, and I appreciate it and I respect them. So Ann Cooper, who lives somewhere. It wasn't her though, by the way. It told me this, and she got a cat named Bubba, and she made sure to let me know that Bubba. It says Bubba chewed the top of the paper there. His name is. I thought this was funny. The cat's name is Bubba Wayne, like John Wayne, but it's Bubba Wayne. So they have actually in Wareville, Alabama. Wow, I'm talking about secret places. Look, Wareville. Where's that? If people knew, they wouldn't call it Wareville. They'd call it Knownville. Duh. Wareville, Alabama is the... they put a landmark there. This is now the official Sasquatch capital of Alabama. Look at that. There's a statue, the Sasquatch. Got a kid there. Yeah, that's the official Bigfoot Sasquatch capital of Alabama. Because of sightings, I would say. So it's not just going on here in Virginia, and it doesn't just go on in the Pacific Northwest. Look at that. Hey, what's up? Oh, just playing hide and seek. What's up with you? Oh, well, I was doing the same, but this kid caught me. So I thought that was really neat. This is really neat. Small world. Okay, a lady in Texas. I'm not going to say where in Texas. Did you hear it again? That's something animalistic in nature. Judy Collins in Texas sent us a nice note talking about how she's got a granddaughter that goes to UVA down there in Charlottesville. That's really neat. I thought that was neat. I just got a really creepy feeling. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit. And you know what? I think I'm going to turn the camera. Joanna Almond in Florida. I want to give a shout out. But I'm going to make sure that I'm prepared to take my stuff I have here and go, because those screams, the last one sounded closer. Did you notice that? It sounded closer. So it sounded so close, I'm going to be ready to run if I need to, while moving closer toward the location of the sound of the scream. Yeah, because that's how Crazy Lake rolls, brah. All right, so Joanna down in Florida just sent a very heartfelt letter. Sometimes I wonder if some of these videos I make are worth it. I share parts of my life that are painful at times, but I share about how I've grown and how I've gotten through dilemmas because I hope that it can help someone else. I share some of my belief system, one of which I've talked about before at length, the philosophy of The Secret, the power of positive attraction. You send positive thoughts into the world, you send positive actions out there into society, this positivity comes back to you. Guys, this is real. That's why you got to be so careful, because if you're sending negative thoughts out there into the world, you're being mean to people, you're just being rude, you're being a snob, you're being pretentious and stuck up, looking down your nose at others. This stuff comes back to you too. You'll get knocked off your high horse and you'll find out you're not quite as high and mighty as you think you are. And all those things you fear, oh, this is going to go wrong, that's going to go wrong. Guess what? They will, because that's what you're telling the universe you want. So Joanna down in Florida, she sent me a very heartfelt letter and basically shared with me that she kind of adopted that same philosophy years ago, but she had forgotten about it and I'd reminded her of it. She's got some goals, some things she mentioned she wants to do. My message to you, Joanna, and everybody else out there who's got a goal, is go do it. Life waits for no one. You either live or you merely exist, and there's quite a difference between the two. Now, I don't want to give you bad advice and tell you to do something that might come back to bite you on the butt, but believe, and be. When you're on your deathbed, I doubt you'll look back and say you wish you would have spent more time at that 60-hour-a-week job that never paid you enough anyway. Spend more time in that office. Just saying. And with that, I'm going to wrap this up, because that last scream sounded close enough to probably no, that's car tires on the road. That's a UPS truck. Careful, Prius owners, those UPS trucks are out there too. Put down that phone and drive. See you for more next time from here to PBS. Yes. The potential Bigfoot, Sasquatch show. Oh. It's a real truck.